Welcome to Paratruth.
I'm sorry about that, but somebody popped in here and changed when I said our intro video, and I could not stop it. So that's not the show you're watching. Want to tell them, Kerrilynn, while I fix this?
No, we are not Paratruth Reborn.
No.
But it is a great show, and please like, follow and subscribe to Paratruth Reborn. You are listening to Beneath the Hollow Moon. I am your host, Kerrilynn Shellhorn, and you are listening to us live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network 105.3 the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. And I am here with my fabulous co-host, Lorilei Potvin, and tonight we are following the trail of zombies and scarecrows.
We are.
Cornrows and corpses.
That's right. We see the wizard here, James Groar. Well, like I said, that was quick because when did I set our intro video? Like 2-3 minutes before we went live, and somebody snuck in there. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of a promo for Paratruth Reborn, isn't it? Is that was the name that it was? So I tried to turn it off, but it just wasn't letting me turn it off. So we're all in spooky month here.
It is.
Yeah, I love your Halloween tree.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. It's those bubble lights. It's hard to tell from. But they're the pumpkin, but looks like a little candle on the top, and they bubble up. You know, like the fashion bubble lights. My granddaughter loves it, so up they go.
I have a gingerbread tree, a little one. I've been planning on doing a Grinch tree. I got into the Grinch last year. And I think my ultimate goal, have you ever seen those Nightmare Before Christmas trees where they are really tall and then they twist in the curlicue?
Yeah.
One of those would be awesome.
I took a bunch of ladies to the flower shop, and we made one of those one year for Christmas.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm. We took a workshop to make I guess it was more like a Grinch tree, but same idea, like it hung over and.
Oh, yeah, but they did that for Christmas too. That reminds me, there's a YouTuber I follow. I haven't seen her videos in a while. It's called Design to the Nines, and she is and I think I've sent you the channel before. She's a interior decorator, but she does it on a budget, and it looks better than sometimes the $1,000 piece that she's done for like $50. And one year she decided they were going to give back. She's in Florida, and they went to Florida's Children's Hospital, and they were going to set up some trees, and they didn't even know if they were going to get anything, her and another YouTuber. And they asked for listener crafts. And so I did all this stuff. I made all these things. It was candy themed, and I never heard it. Like, she thanked everybody personally in a video. Would you believe the following year, I think this was last year, I got the box back in November, almost a year later. It had been lost in the mail going to the United States.
Well, our Canada Post has made it rather difficult to get anything on time.
I couldn't believe that's a record though, a year. And I spent so much to ship it because it was all these ornaments and all these candy things. And
I remember you telling me about that.
I did tell you about that. I know I did.
I'm working on these clay pet candy corn pendants is what I'm currently working on.
See, no, I have not. Everybody that knows me knows I love resin. I have not touched resin, but the one thing I have not stopped doing is 3D printing. I think I sent you a picture, you guys. When it's ready, I'm going to show y'all. It is a carousel about this high. It spins, and it's all these different colors, and it's a ghost carousel. So the ghosts go up and down as you spin it. So I got a couple more plates, like different plates to print, and then I'm going to snap it all together and crossing my fingers it should work.
Fun.
Yes, that's my big thing I'm making. I've made houses. I've made so many Halloween things. Now I'm starting to make Christmas. You've seen my Frankenstein. Remember the Frankenstein I showed you? It goes in between the bookshelf, and it looks like it's sticking a hand out. It's so cool. I'm addicted to it. 3D printing now.
I know my son, future son-in-law, he loves it. He does all kinds of stuff with it. He loves his 3D printer.
I bought it. I thought, well, I'll print my own blanks, they're called, to make silicone molds. And I thought, well, I really don't know anything about 3D printing. Now it's taken hours and hours and hours, because every time it screws up, it's not like you can call someone, you got to figure it out. And I haven't stopped using it. Like, it's just printing 24 hours a day.
Love it.
Should we say hi to everybody?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's say hi to everybody. So we have the Wiz.
James Gar, our dear friend from Washington, is here. The Wiz. The Wiz is in the house.
Wiz is here.
Very fast. Well, you know, I think Halloween is not just a month.
No.
I think it's...
We do it every
year. Yeah. But it is Halloween all month.
Yeah. Well, we do it every week on this show.
I know we do. Well, for the most part, we do, for sure. Contessa Martins, thank you so much for being here. She's saying, fantastic ladies. Hello, Kerrilynn and Lorilei. Lockbeard, thank you so much for being here. Oklahoma. Yes,
Oklahoma. And the Wiz thinks we've got great makeup.
Thank you. We have Lily this week, so I ran downstairs to show her before
what did she think?
Can I touch it?
Oh, she's so cute. Oh my gosh.
She's super sweet. Hello, Heather Fugard. Thank you so much for being here.
Okay, we got Michelle.
Michelle Wilfong, good afternoon from the Pacific Northwest.
Hello. Oh, there we go.
Oh, Cindy Waghorn, thank you so much. Hi, Kerrilynn and Lorilei. Love your costumes. How on earth is it Thursday already?
Believe me, I think we haven't even talked hardly at all. Normally we talk almost every day with, working on the show and stuff. It's been all messages and you name it.
You know that it's Halloween month. It's just
insanity.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Astrolight Paranormal. Hello, Victoria. She is saying, hi, Kerrilynn and Lorilei. We're heading to an investigation, but wanted to drop in to say hi. Looking forward to watching the replay. Well, I hope that it is a great night and be safe.
Yes, I was
Look forward to hearing about your investigation. Actually, you can tell us about it on the Angel Rock when you are on.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a little bit, but yes, I can't wait. I was saying the exact same words you just said when you said to her, so be safe.
Yeah. Mort Ali, hello. Thank you so much for being here. Loving that profile photo.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Hang on, I got to go back and now I got to look at it. Oh, it is nice. Yes, I like that. There we go.
Heidi Gold, thank you so much for being here. Hello, Kerrilynn and Lorilei. Much love from Boulder. Right back at you, Lorilei. Or Heidi, I'm so sorry.
And Heidi, yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool. Heather is sharing. My boyfriend got a 3D printer. The kids love it.
Ooh, and look who's here. Another one of my besties. Hello, Leanne Clark. Mm-hmm. The Crystal Wizardress, or you can find her as the Crystal Architect on Instagram and Facebook. She is amazing. One of these days, I told her, Leanne, I tell Kerrilynn, I'm going to hook you two ladies up together with me one night. We're going to get together and have a good chat.
That would be fun.
I know.
Leslie Van Conant, hello. Thank you so much for being here. She's saying, hi, everyone. You ladies look great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sue Ross, hello. She's saying, love it. You guys look fabulous.
Thank you. I think that's our last one. I'm going to check Instagram.
Teresa Loft, thank you so much for being here. She's saying, hello. Great costumes.
Oh, we got to read Carrie's comment too. That's the last one we went through.
Oh, thanks, Carrie. She's saying, yes, I love the spirited dress-up thing you both do, laughing at the festive themes you both do. It's just fun. I loved playing dress-up when I was a kid, and I love it as an adult.
And we both love when we first met and you had me on your show. You know, I will never forget this as long as I live. And you asked me, you go, would you be okay with being like kind of silly? And I'm like, heck yes, put my name there. And then you asked me what my paranormal, what was it? Paranormal fangirl crush was.
You
I never,
fangirl over. Yeah.
yes, never forgotten that. Oh, we got Julie Dow just popping in.
Hi, Julie. Thank you so much for being here, Julie Dow.
Yes. So I was expecting we were going to find tons on these subjects, and we still did. But normally we have enough information to do like 6 shows. But holy cow, we had some fun with it. We're going to do a little bit of a different show. Should we maybe give people a little bit of a heads up just in case, if you're not here, right till the very end. Next Thursday, Kerrilynn is coming for a conference to my city. So we may be live, or we might have to do a replay, but we're aiming for live. Okay, guys? So just so you know.
Yeah. The Lake Superior Bearcon is next weekend in Thunder Bay. I will be presenting and being part of the investigation and doing a message gallery event there. But it is a 16-hour drive.
Yes.
So the highway is closed quite frequently if you have traveled north of Sault Ste. Marie on our Trans-Canada Highway 17.
I was going to say from Sault Ste. Marie to Thunder Bay, and then from Thunder Bay, if you're going to say Winnipeg, it's pretty well crappy till you get to the border of Manitoba. Yeah.
So we're just gonna all put some good juju vibe out that the weather is good, the highway is good, there's no issue. I will probably go up to Sault Ste. Marie for a couple of days and check in with folks and family, and then I can monitor how the weather's looking, and then I'll go. The plan is that we will be able to.
Good weather, Juju. Definitely.
That's right.
Yes. So
and good drivers, because that stretch is ridiculous with drivers.
Well, and the thing is, there's stretches. Okay, so then you get these little towns, and then there's stretches, and it's only 2 lanes on the highway, and it's up and down and curvy and all around. And
I honestly, I get car sick so easy. And normally I don't get car sick if I'm driving, and I was getting car sick driving on the way up. So on the way back last time, I wore my glasses where that had really wide arms, so I wasn't looking all over the place and having to readjust. And then I didn't feel as sick, so I pulled those glasses out, so I'm ready. So
I have driven that. I have driven that highway because we've driven back and forth to Southern Ontario, especially with my first husband, and we'd split the driving, and that road is, it's awful. Awful.
The end places are great, and it's good motivation to just get there as safely and quickly as I can. Last time I saw a moose too. On the way up there, I saw a moose.
I'm surprised you
stopped on the highway because it was right there on the highway. I'm
surprised you just saw one, because they come out. Heidi says she's keeping you in her thoughts and for safe travel.
Thank you.
So where are we starting tonight?
Well, you know what? Let's start with zombies.
Okay.
Let me pull this up.
I have lots of zombie stuff.
I could not get.
Is that video?
Yeah. Do you want to do that?
Yeah. What one do you want me to pull up? I have them ready. You guys, I'm coming down with a cold. So Kerrilynn's been so good. She set most of the things up ahead of time. And I took cold medication. I should have done that earlier. Okay. What one are we watching? The one with the ants?
Yeah. Let's watch that. Does anybody watch The Last of Us? Anybody play the video game?
Hang on. I got to pause this. I've seen it and heard of it, but I've never watched it. What's it about?
Ethereal encounters unveil. Hello. Thank you for popping in and saying hi.
Kerrilynn, she's on before we are with her show of 2 hours. So welcome. Okay, I want to share the screen, don't I? So don't forgive me, guys, if I'm a little spacey cold medication here. It's coming. Is it up there? Because sometimes it pulls up and sometimes it doesn't.
I see it.
Yep, now it's coming. She said, much love to you both. Right back at you, girl.
Oh, thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, we got the volume. I think I can play it.
This parasite is here to control the minds of its insect victims, with some species turning their hosts into real-life zombies.
Nope, this isn't science fiction, it's science scary.
These terrifying brainwashers are cordyceps. Their spores enter their victims and set up shop immediately. Some of their closely related fungi cousins, the Ophiocordyceps, take it a step further. As one species, Ophiocordyceps unilateralis, slowly takes over, it instructs the ant to act natural, tricking its colony mates into thinking everything's all right. When it's ready to spread, the cordyceps then compels the ant to climb up tall vegetation and give the north side of a twig or leaf a final bite, locking its jaw in a death grip. From here, the fruiting body of the fungus, also called the stromata, sprouts from the back of the dead ant's head and begins sprinkling the forest floor and the ant's colony mates below with even more zombifying spores. And so, the freaky cycle of mind control continues.
Okay. Go ahead. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I find that horrifying.
Well, I sent you, I thought, okay, because I didn't see that video till you sent it. And Leanne, you must remember, I know I sent this to you years ago. It came out about, it's called the hair worm. It looks like a hair, and it does this to crickets. It commandeers the cricket body like it's a zombie. And the crickets don't go into water. So what happens is it lays these little tiny parasites in the water. It gets, I think, drunk up by animals, and then their droppings. The worm goes through the GI tract, kind of, somehow it ends up in the cricket eventually, right? A bird eats the worm or whatever, right? And so what it does is it goes into the cricket, and I thought it ate the cricket from the inside out. It doesn't. It eats all the cricket's fat stores, but it basically drives the cricket just like the ants, and then it makes it go to the water, makes it go in the water so it can then come out of the cricket and start the life cycle all over again. But the part that I never saw till today, because this was the full video, the cricket is fine afterwards. It goes on after life and acts like nothing happened. This one you found, holy crap, man, it could take over the whole ant colony.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so in the game Last of Us, and then they've made the show based on the game. Mm-hmm. That's how that plague is. It's the cordyceps. It's these mushroom spores that have spread and have turned humans into these different types of zombies.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, right? Because if the animal world has things like this happening in the plant world, mm-hmm. How do we not know? I got into the history a little bit about zombies and things like this. And then you asked some good questions. I never got a chance to ask you about one particular monster that you asked about that I thought about. Mm. There was a question you'd come up with. We looked at even Wendigos. Could there be forms of zombies? Like there's all kinds of things, right? Necromancy or somebody mm-hmm. reanimating the dead basically, and they don't quite come back.
Well, there are tales of that, and mm-hmm. and that was the word that came up to that I was thinking of when we decided Zombies and Scarecrows was reanimation. That was that word. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, but Last of Us is a great show. I don't know who was asking about. So Mish, it's not part of Day of the Day of the Dead? No.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hi, Shannon K. Casey. We have not seen you in forever. So nice to have you here. Say hi to Sean. We should say hi to Mish too. Hi, Mish. We didn't say hi, but hi. She's visiting us from the future. It's Friday morning over there in Australia. Well, do you want me to tell a little bit of the history of where it came from?
Sure.
Okay. I got to put my zombie glasses on. I'm a zombie, was hoping queen, but not quite. But I do have this silly old veil over my eyes. All right. Because there was one thing that concerns me is the fact that, and I will get to this in a minute, but about the U.S. having a zombie preparedness, like a whole bunch of pages on the government website. They also had zombie preparedness, like 2-day mock events, all kinds of things. And to me, if zombies aren't real, why are you wasting taxpayers' dollars doing that?
Right.
Yes,
So some kind of biological.
I could see it. We're seeing it in the animal world here, so I don't think we're that far away. Okay, so the history. Zombies as we know them today, shambling, flesh-hungry, undead hordes, have surprisingly deep and tragic origin stories. This coming from AI. I did look it up. I want to give credit where credit's due. And it has have a surprisingly deep and tragic origin story that begins far from Hollywood sets. The concept first emerged in Haitian voodoo, often misspelled. Oh, actually, voodoo, they're spelling it as VODOU rather than VOODOO. During the brutal era of colonial slavery in the 17th and 18th centuries, where Haiti was a French colony known as Saint Dominique, or Domingue. Sorry, I haven't got my glasses, or even with my glasses, I'm not reading it right. Saint Domingue. Enslaved Africans, primarily from West and Central Africa, brought spiritual traditions with them, blending them with the harsh realities of plantation life. The word zombie derives from the Kikongo term Nzambi, meaning, and it was spelled Nzambi, which means God or spirit of the dead, or Zumbi, a fetish or soul, is what it is. And it says, which evolved into the Haitian Creole Zonbi with an N rather than an M. Do you want me to go a little bit further or not? Because this
So wasn't the idea of ring animating someone was to use them for labor?
well, the way what I found in here, kind of, but kind of not. It talks a little bit about basically, I don't have to read the whole thing, but that it was such a miserable life for these poor slaves from Africa. They wanted to leave, but they were terrified to take their own lives because of their belief systems. So it said in the research I did, they chose possibly to be able to turn someone into a zombie so that they would escape the life. They wouldn't know what's going on, but they'd still be a slave on the property, is basically what it was saying. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it's talking about here. And so it said a zombie wasn't a mindless monster in Haitian folklore, but a reanimated. There's that word again that you kept hearing. You said corpse controlled by a bokor, a voodoo sorcerer who practices both good and dark magic. The bokor uses potions, possibly containing tetrodotoxin from the pufferfish, which is very interesting because I know I've seen this and heard of it, not only in movies, but I think if you know what you're doing, you can fake death with someone appearing to be dead, giving them this particular toxin so that they appear not to be breathing, their heart appears not to be beating, but apparently will beat like just a little bit enough to give you the oxygen. I don't know how someone would be able to live through it, but I've heard of this before.
Isn't that a Simpsons episode?
It could be. I've seen it in movies. I've seen it in a lot of things, but I've heard of
Right.
this too. Spies, like it's the same thing when you get deep sea divers that can go down 2 miles without an oxygen tank, like they train for it. And most human beings would be long gone, right? They can hold their breath for almost 15 minutes. So I think you'd have to train for it, but I have heard about this. So the pufferfish toxin, and later they revive the bodor, revives the person as a soulless slave. This wasn't just superstition, it symbolized the ultimate horror of slavery, eternal bondage even after death, with no escape to the afterlife or ancestral homeland. And it says slaves feared unaliving, I'll use that word on YouTube, a common act of defiance, which sorry, let me reread that again. Sorry, guys, cold medication here. Slaves feared that unaliving, a common act of defiance, would trap their souls in zombie form rather than freeing them. And it gets into the books where it started from 1929 upwards. So zombie lore and legend has been around a long time.
What I found sad. Hello, Kirby's 100. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
What I found sad when we were talking about, or when we were researching, I know when I was researching, you can let me know if you found the same
Yeah.
thing. When we were, so mental health and addictions were what came up the most.
Oh.
like
Wow.
in the behavior of it, right? And
Oh, yes. Bath salts is one that is
yeah,
really terrifying.
yeah,
Yes, and I didn't come across it today. I'm glad you brought it up though, because I have seen and I have heard of when somebody imbibes in that, like you could, and I remember my eldest son was working at a hotel. He used to do guest services at the front, and there was another hotel right across from where he was. It took, he said, 8 to 10, probably 200, 250 pound police officers to contain this little 70-pound woman. They figure it was bath salts. He said she looked like a zombie, though. He said she was all white and her eyes almost looked like they were blacked out, and she had all this black coming out of her mouth. I guess it's kind of and I've heard that before with bath salts. It's kind of like a chemical reaction to whatever body fluids, I guess. So they get superhuman strength, super speed. Shannon, I didn't know this. I'd never heard this before. Thank you for sharing this. So Shannon is in Thunder Bay, and she says in the early 1900s, unless this is in a different city, Shannon, she said we had a plague pass through our local city. It made people appear dead, and they were buried alive.
When did they have the bell?
I know that was a common thing back, I want to say, especially the late 1800s, early 1900s. Anybody else, feel free to correct me. But I guess they didn't have quite the equipment that we do nowadays to ascertain that somebody had actually passed away. And so that's what would happen. People would get buried alive, as you all know. So that's what they did. They put the bell outside so they could ring it if they were buried alive. Oh, this is interesting. Did you see this? Do you want to read that one, Kerrilynn?
Yeah, thank you. So Lockbeard is sharing, some people take cordyceps as a supplement to give them drive to do things like work out. If it affects us that much, then the government surely can tweak it to do more. Agreed. I'm down that rabbit hole with you.
Me too. Like I said, there's the hair worm. You can look it up. Hair worm taking over cricket and making it go to water. You will find the video. It'll come up number 1. It's about 4.5 minutes long. That's why we didn't play it tonight. But I saw that years ago and I've never forgot. You want to read what Carrie said? Or
so Carrie sharing The Host, written by Stephanie Meyer. So the Twilight series gives a not so graphic as other movies of an entity entering a soul to live through a human consciousness.
I started to read that book and then I got pulled away from it for some reason. I remember.
Shannon is continuing. When they moved the caskets from one area of town to the now cemetery, they opened the caskets and found scratch marks and broken fingernails in the caskets.
That's heartbreaking.
Lord.
I've heard that before. See, Mish, and this is some people have actually phobias of this. My fear of being buried alive, going to be cremated so I can avoid this. You know what? They say a lot of times, especially a phobia, can be related to a past life. So, I'm going to read Shannon's comment again because she's nodding.
Yep. Shannon's continuing. Yes, Thunder Bay lore. It was one of my great uncles who was helping to dig up the bodies.
Oh, wow. I've never heard that before. Oh, Contessa Martin says the host was great. Hence Saved by the Bell. Actually, Wiz, you're right. That's what that saying came from.
Contessa, I think you would like The Last of Us.
Is it scary? Scary?
No. So it's got all the feels to it.
So I could probably watch it then, right? Okay, good. Because I've seen The Walking Dead.
Pedro Pascal is in it.
Oh, well, that changes everything then. Yes, I will.
The casting is really good. All of the casting. I felt the casting was really good.
And it's about zombie. Is it about zombies?
Cordyceps zombies.
Oh, you did say that. Sorry about my brain tonight. So what do you guys think? Like, some of you shared your thoughts. Like, what do you think? Are we far? Like, why would the U.S. government? You want to read that? And I'll ask that question.
he's just commenting back to Mish that Lockbeard is sharing, well, Mish, I'm afraid to wake up inside a furnace. I'm kind of with that too.
I want to be cremated.
It's not scary. It's a good story. Agreed, Contessa.
Thanks, Contessa.
Denise Smits, hello. Thank you for being here. She's saying happy Thursday, running late today. Great outfits, by the way.
Thank you. And while I think of it, Canada is celebrating Thanksgiving this weekend. So happy Thanksgiving to anybody who's celebrating. See, I was starting to say something and now it's coming back. It's coming back. How many of you think that we could possibly be close to something like that, like a zombie virus? Because to me, if zombieism or zombies are supposed to be fake, why would you spend that much of the taxpayers' money plus mock emergency scenarios and practice preparedness with zombies, people like crisis actors? Like, why would you do that? It makes no sense to me, right? Like, there has to be something to it. And nobody seemed to have a big deal about it. Like, because to me, mind you, there's not much you could do, but a lot of people didn't even know about it. Like, I think they've since taken it down since it's grown in popularity. So this would have been probably about 5 years or so back then. Like, that's a lot of money to spend.
Contessa Martins is sharing they're getting us ready.
Well, that's what I wonder. I did look for some videos of zombies. I sent you one. Now, we didn't see it, so you can't say whether it's real or not, but it's a conversation with the military containing an area somewhere in the U.S. where they are claiming that it was zombie-like symptoms.
Was that a real video?
I don't know. To me, it didn't seem real. Now, they questioned it when they posted it, but the thing is, even if it was a WhatsApp, like, they're not going to tell us, like, if it's in a small part somewhere, right? And they contain it.
Mish is sharing MS is related to gut bacteria. A lot of our problems are parasites in our gut. That's what I feel.
I agree 100%.
Zombie stuff will end up being. And so I watch a lot of movies. A lot. That's all I do. So I loved World War Z.
Oh, I saw that movie. That
with
was
Brad Pitt. I have watched it over and over. It's one of those go-tos that I watch when I'm just making the noise, but I enjoy it very much.
Harry Potter.
So, but I loved the concept in that movie World War Z that they only would bite healthy hosts. If they ignored the hosts, they didn't bite people with cancer or that had illnesses. So, that whole idea of it being a parasite, seeing a healthy host.
Even in The Walking Dead, though, and beyond The Walking Dead, remember some of the people that escaped from that would put on zombie clothes and almost a zombie skin so they would smell like the zombies to be able to escape and walk away. I've seen that concept in a lot of movie type things. So why, right? Like, to me, they show you things. They show you things like, we've all seen the concept, are the Simpsons psychic? I don't think the Simpsons are psychic.
Wouldn't your bodies just eventually break down? Or would our bodies just naturally
but they do with zombies. Like, zombies are falling apart practically.
So eventually you die.
I think you're still dead.
Well,
I do.
Eventually you stop moving.
That could be it, but I don't know. Let's ask people. Do you think zombies breathe or they have some kind of heart that beats? I don't.
But just like the flesh or whatever is there would eventually.
But it does. Like, I guess from what we've seen, like, you think about The Walking Dead, like right in the beginning, and it almost seemed like it started to happen quicker and quicker and quicker, right? And then so what happens is people would get reanimated. I got so many questions now that you say that, Kerrilynn, because what's the way you're supposed to be able to feel unalive a zombie is to bang it in the head. So does that mean you can't get them in the heart because that doesn't seem to stop them. It's always off with their heads or bang, bang through the brain, and it stops them.
Mm-hmm.
I
Is
look
that
fish.
is that electrical though? Like, do you know what I mean?
But the whole body, just being a nurse and understanding, like when somebody tells me something's wrong with them, I automatically run through my brain, like the whole system, like a mechanic would with the car, and it's electrical, right? We generate a lot of energy. So, is there some other type of energetic electrical battery pump that the zombie would then run on, if you will, because they don't have thought, right? And they're just mindless eating machines from what we see. I don't ever want to meet one in real life to find out, because there's some pretty cute zombie movies out. I never saw it, but what's the one where the guy is a zombie? I think it was her boyfriend, and she tames him and teaches him to be civil and stuff like that. Do you remember that movie? Anybody? I think that's the movie, Contessa. Warm Bodies, I think it was called. I didn't see it, but have you seen that movie?
No.
Yeah, is that the one, Contessa, where she tames them? It's got a bit of comedy and stuff with it.
The only kind of comedy zombie show that show that I've watched or a movie was Santa Clarita Diet with Drew Barrymore.
Never seen it. She said that is the movie. I never watched it, but it was on one of my lists to watch. Mish says, do you know you're a zombie? Well, we could be. Yes, you're right, Lockbeard. It's a Lockbeard sharing. Zombies take different forms in movies. They're literally dead, The Walking Dead. That's magic, really. So why bother trying to make it scientific at all? But others are alive, like I Am Legend.
Which is a brilliant movie as well, too. That whole story. All the feels.
I don't know. Do you think it with The Walking Dead, it sounded like it started with a virus, right?
Yeah, I honestly don't remember.
You got some questions. You got like quiz show questions.
Oh, yeah. So I didn't put a poll up. Normally, I put a poll up before the show every week.
Everybody can play now. Everybody.
So what I thought we could do today was I put some poll questions together just to ask the folks that are in the chat. So what's your go-to weapon against a zombie? Baseball bat, machete, knife, crossbow, bow and arrow, firearms, or improvised tools, hammer, pipe, etc.
Good question. Okay, while we're waiting for people to answer, what would be your go-to weapon?
Oh, probably improvised tool, because I don't have any of the other stuff. So it would be improvised tool. I don't have a firearm.
I don't.
Or crossbow.
I would find one though. I would find one. My number one, I think, would be a firearm. If not, I do know my partner Dell has rebar everywhere around this house, and believe me, anything being hit or speared by with a rod of rebar, I don't think it would really survive too well. So Caroline's saying a firearm, and Mish is saying, I don't know what. Machetes are banned in Australia. Everybody's saying bat and pew pew. Oh, Lockbeard says his mitts. Yeah, but then you got to get close, Lockbeard. You want, like Mish said, that's why a pew pew for her.
If they're biters.
Yeah, so I want to get close.
No. I have a big piece of rebar that's actually on the porch.
You do too?
A piece of rebar on the porch. It's tucked in behind my.
Yeah, isn't it?
Everybody's gonna know where it is now, but I don't think those people that steal stuff off my porch listen to the show.
No, but we have the same thing. There's rebar all over the house, like outside, that people don't know it's there. I'm telling you, folks, if you know what the number one thing, and I would wonder if it would work on zombies. So this is for anybody who lives alone and you're sleeping at night, and say you got prowlers or something in the neighborhood, get yourself a can of bug spray. like raid or wasp stuff, because it sprays at 20 feet away, and you hit it in the eyes, the prowler. So I wonder if you could do that with a zombie.
Maybe.
Fart, glitter, and rainbow in their direction.
Mitch is always the comedic humor.
Yes, she is. Oh, that's a good idea, Denise. She says she needs a flamethrower. Oh, you go ahead. You go ahead. I'm not going to do it. You do it.
Need to buy a flamethrower. Are they legal?
Are they? Yeah, but it's kind of like if a tree falls in the forest and no one hears it. Did it really make a sound? So, in those kind of times, I guess it would be okay.
I suppose so. A metal snow shovel and metal rakes. Okay, so this I think is worth having the discussion as well too. Mish is saying flamethrower using the bug spray. Yes.
Yeah.
When we were thinking about the show today, I found the clip from Shaun of the Dead when they're throwing the vinyl records at the first two when they're first discovering it.
You want me to play that too?
Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
It is. I love that movie. I couldn't remember the name, and then you sent the clip, and I went, "Oh yeah, that was a good zombie movie."
I mean, there's very few like of the comedic ones. I'm all about like Resident Evil and all of those ones. I'll do all of those. Okay, here's another question that I think is worth having the chat
about. Go ahead,
about.
while I'm holding this up. Go ahead.
Which resource is most vital in the early days if there was a zombie apocalypse? Clean water, non-perishable food, medical supplies, fuel or energy, or weapons and ammo? Which resource is most vital in the early days? What do you think?
Can you reread those again, please, just one more time? The choices.
Clean water, non-perishable food, medical supplies, fuel, or weapons and ammo.
Water.
That was the one I thought too. Water.
Because if you think about it, you can't go very long without water. Like, it's nice. My second would be weapons and ammo. But number one would be water. And I've talked about this in many, many shows. I had Augie Nost on, who's a good friend of mine. I mentioned many times to you and on air. And we were talking a little bit about preparedness, not zombie preparedness, just preparedness. And I was saying that I was talking to this younger kid in a group I used to be in, and he lived in Florida, right by the ocean. And I was saying, God forbid that the power grid went out, for example, or anything like this, a zombie apocalypse. You know, one of the biggest trading commodities is going to be water, alcohol and coffee, a fire source, and weapons, right? But especially with the water, and they started laughing at me. And I was on my old network, and I said, really? I said, well, where you know where you live? And they said, yes. I said, how much fresh water is around you? You're surrounded by oceans. How are you gonna drink water? And they got this absolute look of shock and horror on their face. Yes, there is a way of desalinating salt water, but most people aren't aware of how to do that. You're not going to be able to look it up on the internet, right? So water is powerful. Mm-hmm. So what's our answers, Kerrilynn, as I'm babbling away here?
Lockbeard is saying can't keep any resource if you cannot defend it. So weapons. Heidi, I was thinking about that too. That was pretty funny. Zombieland, Twinkies. Just kidding. Clean water, she says. Contessa, weapons and ammo first, then find water. Or take water, Lockbeard saying, and Mish is saying water is heavy.
It is heavy, but the thing is, if you don't have water, and it's a catch-22. Like, if I had to choose, weapons I would think at first, but you're not going to last long if you're fighting off a bunch of whatever you need to fight for. Yes, you might be able to protect yourself, but if you don't have water, they're going to get you. They're going to get you eventually.
Yep.
Yeah, so I got the Shaun of the Dead clip. You want me to play that now?
It just makes me laugh. Yeah.
It's hilarious. I love that movie. We got Jarrett Keith here. Hi, Jarrett Keith.
Hi, Jarrett.
Our window is so small today. I don't know why. I wonder. Give me a sec here, Kerrilynn. I just want to see.
It looks big to me.
Does it? Oh, okay. Then I won't play with it. Maybe it's on my end. Okay, here. Let's play this. I got to get the volume though. Come on, volume. There we go. Hopefully, no different.
Oh,
sorry. Did I do something? Yeah. No. Yeah.
Totally gone now.
You know what? Let me pop out and I'll pop back in because the window, I swear to God, is like a little tiny dot here. It'll take me 2 seconds and I'll pop right back in. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Hang tight.
Mish is saying, can you pretend you're a zombie? Would they leave you alone or can they smell you? I don't know. Depends on which show you're watching. I don't think I would be able to pretend very well. I think they would just know because I wouldn't be pretending very well. Carrie Fast is saying, so build an ark and pray for a flood. Alrighty, let's find it. I have more questions. I have more poll questions. Which kind of zombie? Oh, no. What's your long-term survival plan? Fortify a defensible base and stay put? Keep moving? Scavenging along the way?
No, we're back to normal. Sorry. I don't know what happened there. That was so weird. That was weird.
I'm glad you've got it fixed on your end. It looks the same though for us.
Good, because it was like this little tiny cube. Like I wouldn't have been able to share anything or anything.
So weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
So what's your long-term survival plan? Fortify a defensible base and stay put, or keep moving, scavenging along the way, find and join a larger survivor community, or go off-grid, forest and wilderness?
Ooh. Oh, I'm watching.
Ooh.
I'm trying to think. That's okay. I'm looking at your. I would like to think, like we've talked about preparedness so many times in our home. So I think we would probably be on our own, but because I know where we'd probably go, but then we do have a few friends too. But the thing is, what people don't think about, and like I've said how many times, how much I love my neighbors here too, and I do all around me. But when it comes to you've got a family to feed or yourselves for survival, it really doesn't seem to matter, right? So what are you going to do? So I don't know. What would you do? I think I would be off of my own.
Well, I think about that a lot, right? If there was something like that, because my kids are adults now and they are spread out. Like I have a kiddo in Calgary, provinces away. Like, so I think about that kind of stuff, that I would be so disconnected from them. And that's the part that makes me sad. I agree. Lockbeard is saying fortify. So on one hand, for the most part, I feel fortified, but the other part of me, I think on a daily basis would like to be off grid and away from people.
So would I, but I hear you when it comes to your kiddos and you're all spread out, right? I know I wouldn't rest easy unless we're all under one roof kind of thing, right? Because, it's
super interesting because my youngest son, his dad, when we had our lockdown years, right? When we had our lockdown years, he's like, if things go sideways, here's the plan. he was like,
you kind of got to appreciate that, right?
I so totally did. Totally did. He's a fabulous man and a great dad to our son. And I'm just glad that we've all played nice in the sandbox from the time our kiddo was born, right? But
Right.
he had a plan, and he's got this big piece of property that is in the middle of nowhere, and he was that preparedness, arming the truck, and everybody. Here's our meeting point. This is how we're going to survive this. Like he was that during that time period.
Well, you know what, though? I think even like I know my current partner, who I just realized I've been with almost as long as I was married to my first husband, they can play nice with one another. Like I have actually invited my ex before, do you want to come for Christmas if you're by yourself, or, whatever holiday? Because, well, no, his mom and dad are gone. His siblings
But,
live.
it's just adulting, and he's
Yeah.
dad.
He's never come, but that's what I was saying. Like if we had to, and it was zombie preparedness days or whatever, there is some strength in numbers, right? And so I see some people are adding that, like Michelle Wilfong is saying you would need many to protect it. Michelle will, well, again, people have done that though. Don't you remember that movie? No, it wasn't real. Wasn't it called The Fog? Did you ever see that movie?
Yeah, it's a Stephen King short story.
Is it? That was so sad, the ending.
Jared, Keith have to be on the move.
Okay. That's true, Lockbeard. So and hi, Jackie Collins. She's here. He says, kind of depends on the situation. If Walking Dead scenario, occupy a prison. Each person sleeps in a separate cell. So if they die in their sleep, the zombie is contained. That's a very good idea.
But they didn't stay contained in Walking Dead.
Somebody gave them the keys or they figured it out.
That whole thing didn't work out well.
Plus, you got to remember what's going to happen to the prisoners. What if the prisoners are still there, right? And this happens. I wonder.
That's what happened in Walking Dead.
Yes, I'm thinking too. Never mind, have you got, say, some pretty dangerous people, human beings. Now they're zombies and you got to deal with it. How about, I would think, water? Because it seems like, but then again, would water stop them? Right? I don't know. And these are the questions that good to have these conversations, because it gets you thinking, and you may never ever need it. But you know what? Like I know anywhere in the world, and I'm not being a fatalist. Yeah, but everyone in The Walking Dead was stupid. Oh, okay, so I'm going to add something to that, Lockbeard, and we've had this conversation at our house. So when Negan came in, who was actually John Winchester before and Supernatural, so I have a soft spot for him, but he was the bad guy. Now, what I said is, what if the Walking Dead series had started out and Negan was actually, I forget what the Andrew Lincoln, I think his name is in real life, the guy that played the main character. Do you remember what his name was? Anyways, what if it had been Negan, and then the main character, who we thought is now the main character, came in and took on Negan's role? We would think that he was the most evil, awful person, right? So what I'm saying is, if the roles were reversed, because it's like live and let live, right? You got to survive. And they made Negan come in, what was it, season 5 or something? And he was so evil, but he had his own people. He had his own community. He had his own things, right?
He was bad.
He was very bad, but so did, I forget, what was the guy's name? Rick. It was Rick. So what if Rick had come in season 5 and it had been Negan all along? Because Rick did some pretty awful things. A lot of people did some really awful things to be able to survive, right? Thanks, Contessa. I knew it would come to me. And you are right, Lockbeard. Yeah, people were stupid in The Walking Dead. They were. I don't know how many times I yelled at my TV screen, like, what were you thinking?
Well, and there was a few characters that I was really quite happy to see go.
Me too.
Thank goodness.
The big redhead guy, I forget who he was. And he ended up being good, but I remember that. I haven't watched it in years. I wasn't sad to see Negan go. There were some characters in there. Yeah, I was glad they were gone.
I think he was good, and then the zombies turned him bad to survive. I think we would all change. We would have to. We would all
That's
change.
what I'm saying. That's why we've had
would.
this conversation, Dell and I. And I was the one that brought it up to him. What if Negan, we had seen Negan from the beginning of The Walking Dead, like Rick was a police officer, right? And then, you know, you've seen the scenario from the emergency room and whatever else, right? Well, what if it had been Negan and we followed Negan and we got to know a bit about Negan's life story? And then Rick came in at the last minute, kind of like Negan did. Like Negan was an awful person and did awful things, but he did what he had to do to survive.
Mm-hmm.
All ethics, laws, everything goes out the window, very sadly. Mm-hmm.
So shall I do our station ID?
Sure.
I don't know where the whiz is, where James went.
He didn't remind us. And then we got Scarecrow to do still.
That's okay. That's okay. So if you are just joining us now, thank you so much for being here. You are listening to Beneath the Hollow Moon. I'm your host, Kerrilynn Shellhorn, and you are listening to us live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 in the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. I'm here with my fabulous co-host, Lorilei Potvin. If you are interested in learning more about all of the shows or checking out more of the shows that UPRN has to offer and more about the hosts that are here on our network, you can go to uprntalkradio.com. There is thousands of archived shows that you can access and take a listen to. We are getting updated. There's going to be, we heard, chat and merch store, all kinds of fun stuff coming up. So uprntalkradio.com.
Thank you. You know what we didn't throw out there, but we need to have time for the Scarecrows. Well, you guys, we're going to have to come back to all these. I told you we'd have more than enough information, but what about a Wendigo? Like, what? Very quickly, without getting into it, did you think that the Wendigo was a form of a zombie, but in First Nations legend and lore?
I didn't understand it that way, but I could see from that perspective why someone would feel that way, but I don't.
Because did they die, right, to become a Wendigo? They have this insatiable hunger, and I don't know. It was just a thought that I had. Same as you had asked, and I think it's worth mentioning quickly before we move to Scarecrows. You said, what about Frankenstein?
Yeah, I asked if Frankenstein would be considered a zombie.
Okay, but does he eat flesh, right? And do all zombies eat flesh? Because according to the history, no, they don't. That's not what they were when they first came out. Food for thought.
I don't know.
We'll ask you guys, and then we gotta save time for our Scarecrows. So, where do you want to go with it, Kerrilynn? Shall we do our news show, or you want to ask the questions? You got into some history. You go wherever you want with it to start.
Did you see that notification come up?
No, I didn't, but I do now. It just came up again. I will take care of that. I'm going to remove it. I figured it might do this, so that's okay. I'll take care of it. You go ahead if you don't mind starting, and then I will fix it. Thank you. Thought it was Roku.
That's okay. Let me find.
Now we'll have to do Instagram again, because it decided I had Instagram open, because usually if you close your page you have to restart it. But the other thing that Instagram has been doing is shutting off after about an hour and 15 minutes. So that's probably what it was. It doesn't take long to do.
So with
Scarecrows,
just the history of Scarecrows. So not necessarily like paranormal or high strangeness, but just the history of Scarecrows.
Yeah.
Lockbeard is saying, I never really thought about Frankenstein's monster as a zombie, but I guess he kind of was, because he was reanimated.
Yeah.
And it was all different body parts, but.
I thought it was a good thought that you shared. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yes. Well, it was good. And it was harder. It was harder researching zombies than I thought it was going to be, actually.
Me too. Me
Yeah.
too.
So scarecrows. History dates back over 3,000 years to Egypt and Greece. But the scarecrows that we settler culture, I guess, started more 500 years ago. So in ancient Egypt, farmers would cover their wheat crops with netting draped over sticks, and it protected the wheat from quail. And then the nets caught the quail. The Egyptians would collect the birds and eat them. At the same time, in ancient Greece, farmers hung tunics over sticks to represent the god Priapus, the son of Dionysus and Aphrodite, who was apparently not pleasing to the eye, with the hopes that these stand-ins would scare off the birds from the vineyards and other crops. And these versions were painted purple, and one hand held a bat to hurt the birds. The other hand held a scythe, which is kind of what we see, right, in those images. In Japan, farmers would stuff old smelly rags with straw and hang bells on them, then burn them in the fields in late September. The smoke and the stench supposedly kept the birds away. There's stories of early Native Americans screaming at the birds to keep them away from crops. So as time passed, Europe became more populated. So it was about those rural communities protecting their crops, right? But this is the one that I thought, this is where we get into like creepy kids, paranormal and high strangers. So later on in the Middle Ages, of course, the Middle Ages, children were encouraged to run through the fields while clapping their hands and throwing stones to scare away the birds. They were known as scarecrowers.
Oh.
But after the plague hit, then the zombies and the zombie kiddos. After the plague hit and so many children died, the farmers had to come up with a new plan, hence the resurgence of the stuffed scarecrow. And while it wasn't hard to stuff clothes with straw and mount on a pole in the field, making a realistic head was a problem. So they used carved turnips and gourds for the heads.
Ew. I came across a really morbid scarecrow, and what it was, there was a 24-year-old female vlogger. I think her name was Stephanie, and
Sarah.
Was it
I
Sarah?
got her.
Oh, you go for
Sarah
it.
Jenkins.
Tell the story, because I just watched it. You tell that story, because that was morbid. I seen a video clip of the scarecrow.
Yeah, so it was in June of 2005. Sarah Jenkins.
Thank you.
She was from Columbus, Ohio, and she was going to do the Appalachian Trail. So she started a travel vlog called Sarah Sees the World. So she says goodbye to her family, and she heads out, and she's making posts along the way. So the last, she flew to Georgia, because that's where she started. She flew to Georgia, and then she started. So July 28th, I wrote a note, July 28th in 2005, Dalville, Virginia, was her last post. And then 10 days went by with no words, no posting, no nothing. She was on that. So they contacted the Appalachian Trail Association. The last entry that they saw was July 29th and 30th. And it was 2 years before they actually found her. So
her dad walked the trail, because they made it a cold case. They didn't even go after her. So
and it was, I just want to call up the dude's name. Sorry, folks. Right there. Well, there we are.
It was her dad, I think. He wouldn't give up until he found her. He needed to find her. And I just seen a video clip of it, so that's why I found out about it while you're looking. I'm just rambling here. And it is so tragic.
Silas Blackwood.
Yeah.
Silas Blackwood. His wife had died 20 years earlier. His only daughter had moved across the country, didn't visit her father.
Yeah. Go ahead.
He made her into the Scarecrow.
So he was the bad guy. Okay, because her dad. Okay, I didn't get the name of the bad guy. So yeah, guys, her dad wouldn't give up because the cops basically said, "Well, she could have gone anywhere. She could have ran away." Kind of a cold case.
But
And
it was another farmer that found her. Another farmer discovered her.
and
And then
he
called
used her
911.
corpse as a scarecrow. There was nothing left. That the video I saw, and they probably didn't research like you did. They said the dad recognized it would be his daughter because the scarecrow had her hat on, and it was just bones and rotted corn husks. She was hung up like a scarecrow.
Yeah.
And it was Silas Blackwood. Did he ever say why he did it, or?
They said that in the interrogation, he just kept changing his story left, right, and center, but it's secluded rural area. There was more. There was actually in the barn, they found more. Like he was making more scarecrows in the barn out of people. So there was more to it.
Lord.
Apparently he died in prison.
Oh,
Yeah, most of what they found: junk newspapers, broken tools, his wife's old clothes and trunks.
Oh my Lord. Can you imagine? I can't even imagine.
His farm tools. In the old dilapidated barn where Blackwood kept his farm tools, in a far corner under a pile of rusty chains, old tires, one of the officers stumbled upon an army box locked with a padlock. The lock was quickly closed. When the lid of the box was opened, everyone realized the search was over. Carefully wrapped in burlap lay a bright red hiking backpack. It was sturdy and otherwise intact. They found her sleeping bag, notebook, her diary, a map, a journal in her own handwriting, and her digital camera.
Oh my goodness. That's so tragic and so
incredibly sad. So do you feel, I had this conversation with someone yesterday, actually. We were talking about the Ed Gein.
I was thinking of that as you were reading that. I went, oh my God, this sounds like Ed Gein.
So we were talking about that. And by creating these movies and shows for people, depending on where their mental health is it planting the idea? Like, where did that man get the idea to do this? Is it something that he saw or read and then in his mental health? Like, so, putting the movie out, which most people agree that there are a lot of liberties that were taken where the story is not necessarily all truthful. There's big inconsistencies in the story to what is truthful. But is there the concern that people who watch that with any kind of mental health will?
I think it's partially that. Like, the thing I'm seeing too are the amount of young kids, I will call them, that are unaliving people. And especially in the last 5 to 7 years is just profoundly astounding. Like 12, 10, 14. And I don't know if it's, and again, my kids played video games. They love them. I'm not bashing video games. But the thing is, I think it's desensitizing younger people to death. And I've often asked this too. I actually brought it up with Michelle DeRoche last Wednesday in her show. My youngest son, when he was alive, played a lot of video games. And in the background, there was always these looking very sigil-y type symbols. There would be scrolls written in supposedly dead languages, and don't get me wrong, he wasn't playing really obscure, evil, nasty games. But how many of us even think about that? Or there's the card game Magic, or, you look at Pokemon cards or some of these things, we don't know, like our subconscious picks up everything. Is it activating on top of like the question you asked, the mental issues? And are they getting these ideas? Is the seed planted? Love to hear what people think too. What do you guys think? That's interesting. You thought Ed Gein, because as you were reading that, because I never read about Silas, I just read about her, or it was a video about her dad finding out or discovering where Sarah was. And I said, oh my Lord, this barn sounds like Ed Gein. And then you happen to mention him.
Yeah. I found apparently Pennsylvania has a goblin scarecrow story attached to it as well too.
Oh, do share, please.
Okay. So Allegheny National Forest and surrounds Pine Creek Valley, Pennsylvania Grand Canyon, Elk County as well. Seems to inhabit those areas. So this information, so where am I?
I've got a few facts on them too, some interesting
Please?
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the goblin scarecrow is described as a demonic-looking scarecrow with tattered clothing, stuffed with thousands of creepy, crawly insects.
Ew.
These are
Oogie
held
boogie.
together in Oogie Boogie Man, held together in the shape of a man by sheer demonic force of will. It has gloves that form claws and a jack-o'-lantern for a head, with features that actually move and teeth that bite. The first reported sighting of the goblin scarecrow was sometime in the 1950s in Potter County, though its possible sightings go back long before that. Deer hunters saw the thing as they were out looking for game and wound up getting a bit more of an adventure. Jeepers Creepers. There's a scarecrow horror movie coming out right now. Is it Jeepers Creepers? It's not Jeepers.
The one I'm thinking of, I've never seen it, but he's actually very adorable. But you see that Spirit Halloween and everywhere. He's got a pumpkin head and he wears that orange suit and he looks cute. He looks really cute.
I forget what that one. Oh, I think isn't that the Jeepers Creepers?
Maybe it is.
My nephew loves all of those, and I when he was in school, because he's not in school anymore, but he is in the autism spectrum, so he very much obsesses over the things that he loves, and the horror movies is one of them. So I would dress up as a different horror movie character and stand out on my porch and wave at him while my sister drove by to school, and that was one of his favorite ones.
That must have made his day.
Yeah.
I was thinking about Oogie Boogie when you were describing. He didn't quite have the claws, but he's got the patches. He's the bright green, and he's got all the buggies coming out of him. Nightmare Before Christmas, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I had a story here. I had a couple of. I asked for weird and unusual facts. I got to put my glasses on as I put up my creepy veil.
Did you hear? Is it called Nagori? It's in Japan. It's a whole village that is all scarecrow people.
Yes, I did hear about that. That's creepy.
I know.
Well, I've got a couple things like the straw golem connection, and we did do golems. We have that. There's scarecrows as execution effigies. Kune's modern myth, and they refer to it as a wriggling body. I'm looking for this one, though. The bleeding effigy in Somerset, England, 1890s. In a village near Glastonbury, farmers reported a scarecrow in a wheat field weeping blood after a harvest hand's unsolved murder. An 1892 account claims it turned its head to follow a priest, its burlap face stained red. When burned, it screamed, and crows fled the field for years. Locals blamed there we go. I didn't even see this till now. Because I said I brought up about necromancy. It goes, locals blamed a necromantic curse tying the victim's spirit to the straw. And then he actually tied in zombie with my research. It goes, a zombie tied the soulless. I would say reanimation. They put soulless animation mirrors a zombie, the original African zombie. It's husk, it said. I don't know. There's a lot. I got a lot. There's one, the Romanian field watcher in Transylvania.
Yeah.
Okay, the Romanian field watcher, Transylvania, 1970s. In a Carpathian village, a 1976 report describes a scarecrow. I'm not even going to attempt to say this word that's in here. There's a name of it. It looks like Strayeri Blestamati, I guess. I don't know. I'm sorry. I probably really butchered that to anybody. They put it in brackets. So it describes a scarecrow that, quote unquote, walked after a grave was robbed. A shepherd saw it drag a sheep into a field. Its straw hands knotted like vines. It vanished when he prayed, leaving a pile of straw mixed with grave dirt. Locals burned the field, fearing a necromancer's spell. Um, and they said, for the scarecrow kind of vibe to title in, its vine-like grip echoes the harvest man. Because there's stories in here about the harvest man and stuff too. Mm-hmm.
Mixing it with graveyard dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Do it.
Well, you got some good questions too, don't you? Like you did for the zombies.
I did not put poll questions together for scarecrows.
Okay, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm off the game
But
today.
I did find, because we didn't have a listener submission, but I did find a story to read.
You want to do it now?
Sure.
I've got lots of weird facts and all kinds of stuff, so we got a lot still to go. But sure, throw it in there. That sounds cool. Thank you.
So it's called Joe's Scarecrow Story. And you know what was interesting? Why I ended up choosing it? Wow. So I was thinking about Mike Bullard today.
Well, you know what's so weird? I have to say this to you. He was on my mind since last night. Even I chatted with him a bit. Isn't that odd?
Well, you can let me, if you're comfortable later, you can tell me.
Okay. Of course I'm comfortable telling you later.
Yeah. So Mike Bullard was on my thoughts as well too, and his 1-year death anniversary is coming up on Saturday.
Maybe that's why. For people that don't know who he is, do you want to tell them? For people listening, you may not know who he is.
Sure. He was a Canadian comedian. He had a television show called Open Mic with Mike Bullard.
Mm-hmm.
Did a lot of shows with Yuck Yucks. And he passed away a year ago, October 11th.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was doing the research for scarecrows, I found this story. Joe's Scarecrow Story was by Joanne Bullard.
Oh,
weird, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So May 22nd, 2024, it's in the AppalachianFreePress.com.
Of course, Appalachia. I wouldn't even have that girl before you read it, Sarah. Gosh, she was brave. I would not be walking through the Appalachian Trail on my own for sure. No. That's for sure. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
So, okay. So Joe's Scarecrow Story by Joanne Bullard, AppalachianFreePress.com. Come on in and help yourself to a breakfast beverage. Let's talk. Miss Josie just finished her cinnamon rolls. She's just gotten some fresh homemade cow butter from her Aunt Jane, and some now good cow butter on top of hot cinnamon rolls sounds like heaven to me. Come on down and get some. Now, Joe has a scarecrow story this morning. People are starting to plant their gardens due to the warmer weather. That reminds me of a story about my Uncle Henry and a scarecrow that saved his watermelon patch. Now, around here, many people still put scarecrows in their gardens or vegetable patches to keep the birds or the critters away from eating all the fruits and vegetables. I said that they worked pretty good on animals and birds. They aren't so good if a person is stealing your produce. People are not usually scared of scarecrows. It seems that my Uncle Henry grew the best watermelons around these parts. One day he went to his patch and saw where somebody was stealing some of his best watermelons. Why, they even took time to eat a whole melon the night before. Uncle Henry knew if he didn't put a stop to this, he wouldn't have to sell. He wouldn't have any to sell, and he needed the money. So he sat down and gave his problem a lot of thought. As he watched his lonely scarecrow swinging back and forth on this windy day, he got an idea. He took some of his watermelons down to the farmer's market. While he was selling his watermelons, he told everyone that would listen about how his watermelon patch was haunted by an angry scarecrow. He told people that he wouldn't even ever go to his patch at night because an angry scarecrow would try to attack him. The scarecrow was angry because many years ago some boys had pulled him apart when they were stealing watermelons, and the scarecrow wanted revenge on anyone that stole watermelons. Pretty soon word got around that the haunted melon patch word about the haunted melon patch got all over the county. Uncle Henry didn't have any more trouble for a while, and one night he heard voices up on his melon patch. He knew somebody was trying to steal his melons, so he got dressed up like a scarecrow. He even put a straw hat on and a bag over his head, and as he got closer to the patch, he heard the boys and men talking about how they didn't believe in ghost stories or haunted melon patches. Uncle Henry moaned loudly. He yelled, "I have found you. Now I'm going to get even." The people looked up and saw a scarecrow running towards them. They didn't wait around. All Uncle Henry could see was the dust from them running down the dirt road. A few years later, Uncle Henry was at the farmer's market, and he asked a neighbor boy why he didn't try stealing any watermelons from him. The boy looked scared and said, "I tried just last night, but an old scarecrow chased me away." Uncle Henry just looked at the boy and whistled because Uncle Henry hadn't been up to his watermelon patch at night for years. He was glad he hadn't gone back to that watermelon patch at night. He knew he would never go out there at night again. He was superstitious. Uncle Henry was afraid that the scarecrow might have been looking for him. Now everyone around here knows that scarecrows don't like anybody taking their job. So don't try being a scarecrow in your garden or watermelon patch, or one may go looking for you one dark night. Having said that, let's share breakfast beverage and a Native American proverb. And the proverb of today goes like this: as the moon moves across the night sky, many creatures welcome the night. Thanks for coming. Enjoy your gift for the today.
Oh, that was an awesome story. Good job, Kerrilynn. That was a good one. Oh my gosh, those cinnamon rolls. And I've never heard it be called cow's milk butter before, but oh my goodness, I bet it's amazing. Michael L. Steenburgen has joined us on Instagram. Thank you. I did push go live, and it was okay. And I always pop back and forth, and we weren't live even though I pushed it. So I did now. So we got people joining us.
Oh, fabulous. Thank you so much for being here.
I remember, and I want to say it's from the first season of Supernatural, that there was a haunted scarecrow with a scythe that was unaliving people. There was a cheerleader and they had football quarterback. Of course. And they were there to make out. You hear like the scythe going across a chalkboard, but it was glass on the front windshield. And then the big tough boyfriend goes out there and she's going, "No, Jacob." I think I don't know his name. It sounds something like Jacob. "No, Jacob, no, don't go out there." Next thing you hear is screaming, a big splatter of the red stuff, and poor Jacob is being strung up by his ankles. And let's just say the scarecrow did a number on him. So,
They turn them in. He just unalives them. He doesn't turn them into other scarecrows.
No, kind of weird. Like, why not? Yeah, make them do some work. If you're gonna take their life.
So then the same theme along with zombies.
Yeah, it is. But you know what? These are things that we really see around Halloween, right? Like, besides mummies, Dracula, you see, well, maybe not scarecrows so much, but scarecrows are around. Oh.
Dorothy Lockbeard sharing. Dorothy claimed the scarecrow was dumb.
Mm-hmm.
The lion was a coward, and the Tin Man was heartless and murdered a witch. Was she the baddie?
Is she the baddie? Well, she didn't really, I think, purposefully mean to. I don't know. That movie set, I think was very haunted too. There was rumors about many things that happened during that movie, the making of it. Apparently, before the retouched movie, right? There's a little person they claimed that was caught way back in the scenery. Who had
I think that was proven false.
was
It
it
was
proven
on the
false?
cover. Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but there was a lot of stuff that happened on that movie set. I remember because I think
Mm-hmm.
we looked into it, didn't we?
Well, yeah, a lot of things happened. I think she was a baddie. I personally say that.
Do you? So what
Yeah.
makes you think she was a baddie? Because it's funny you mentioned that Lockbeard, because I was thinking about 5 minutes ago about the Scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz.
Because she even hits, smacks the lion on the nose too, right?
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. No. Yeah, I guess you're right. You know, he didn't need to hit the poor lion, but I don't know. I felt like she was kind of had a sad, tragic life. She lived with her aunt and uncle. Then she had the town bully with all the money coming for Toto, her dog.
I think all of us have the potential to be a baddie. We
Absolutely.
are bad and good depending on the situation that we're in.
We have the potential to be it all. So you could definitely. But that's a good question that you asked, Lockbeard. Oh, we've got Conchi Creations 20 joining us tonight. Welcome. You're listening to us on UFO Paranormal, United Public Radio Network. Actually, you're watching us. And this is Beneath the Hollow Moon with my amazing co-host, Kerrilynn Shellhorn, and myself, Lorilei Potvin, because we had a few people. Nobody was on Instagram. And then it'll go like feast or famine. Tons of people. So we're doing zombies and scarecrows tonight.
Zombies and scarecrows. I haven't really seen, other than like at Michael's at this time of year, I don't really see scarecrows out other than like around Thanksgiving and Halloween as a decoration.
No, I don't either. Usually just for fall.
Yeah,
So-
but I don't see them in fields. I don't see.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Like I haven't put my scarecrows out. I have some really cute stuff. Instead, I've been putting all my Halloweeny stuff out. I have a really cute sign, a big one that says "Welcome" to the side of my door. It's got a scarecrow, but yeah, I haven't seen much either. You're right. Kind of
Carrie,
passive.
I have not heard of the Wizard of Oz programming. I love when you are in the chat.
Please share, Carrie, or send us something if you want. We can talk, bring it next time we're live, because I don't think I've heard of Wizard of Oz programming. I do know with the ladies I get together with, one of the first things we were given, and it happens many times, was analogies to the Wizard of Oz, and mainly don't pay attention to the little man behind the curtain from that
The
part of-
wizard.
but that's the way it was given to us from spirit. We know it's a wizard, but
Right.
because everything we think is going on really isn't going on, right? And it don't pay attention to the person controlling everything. So it, again, not the topic we're talking about tonight, but you were used in this programming. Oh my goodness. I'm guessing it probably was not good, and I'm sorry if you were. She said I was used in that, and it's quite a rabbit hole. Wow, I'll have to look into that. And I'm sorry if you had difficult experiences during that. So, would you like me to share another did you know kind of weirdo fact?
Yeah.
The scarecrow. Oh God, now I got my veil tucked into my glasses. How did women wear hats like this back in the day, right? Like especially, you know, a fastener with all this mesh. Go ahead.
Well, here's the thing. I was about to make a scarecrow for my garden, which is right beside the store I work for. Boss let me grow there. Is the thing going to start unaliving our customers?
Oh my goodness. That's so scary. I'm looking for there's two all right. So there's Japan is they're short. Japan's burning Kakashi curse. In feudal Japan, Kakashi weren't just pest repellents. Some were burned in rituals to appease angry field spirits. So that would be, I'm guessing, Japanese version of a scarecrow. Do you want to read that comment? Go ahead if you want.
She was talking about the Wizard of Oz programming. It's the layout of Dorothy's consciousness system. All of those characters are her parts. The wizard was her handler. She broke her programming, exposing him.
Interesting. We might have to talk more about that, Carrie, because I definitely talk about some of that kind of stuff on the Angel Rock. Definitely, because I think knowledge is empowering. And when people hear, if they're able to share their stories, I think it helps people to, like I said, I've never heard of that type of programming before in particular. So thank you for sharing. And I'm sorry, can't even imagine what it might have been like for you. I'll restart it if you want.
Yeah, thank you, please. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. I was going to say, Contessa said, so interesting. Have to look that up. Carrie then says, Allison.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
My ADHD.
Oh,
I
we're
apologize.
back combo with the ADHD.
Yeah. Carrie is saying Alice in Wonderland is also a programming system too.
I've heard of that.
Me too. So it makes sense about the Wizard of Oz.
I've definitely heard of. There's all kinds that fall under that rabbit hole. Yes. You always got to be careful when we talk about them too, depending, right? You can still talk about them. I've had Liz, I can't talk tonight, Chris Latata on numerous times about he's gone through MK Ultra programming and much worse. So, not the new, I don't mean that, but just what I'm talking about at this moment, Carrie, I didn't want you to think I meant, what you're sharing. And as long as you navigate it properly, you can still talk about it because a lot of people don't believe that even exists. So back to Japan's burning Kakashi curfew. Holy cow, how fast was that person going?
Did you hear that motorcycle going by my house?
You couldn't.
We are a 40-kilometer zone, 40-kilometer-an-hour zone.
My house too, but that is the loudest I've ever heard anything go by your house. Oh, they had to be going like 120 kilometers an hour.
Not 40.
Definitely not 40. In feudal Japan, Kakashi weren't just pest repellent. Some were burned in rituals to appease angry field spirits. A 1700s tale from Hokkaido claims a Kakashi rebuilt itself from ashes after a farmer ignored the ritual. Its charred frame stalking him until he drowned himself in a rice paddy. So it said kind of like a zombie, but kind of like a scarecrow as well, right? Reanimated itself, but that's what it was. The other one, because we did talk about golems a few weeks ago, the straw golem connection. In Jewish mysticism, 16th century Prague's Rabbi Judah Loew allegedly created a golem from clay to protect the ghetto, but rural variants use straw resembling scarecrows. A 1580s account claims his straw golem went mad, in quotation marks, strangling livestock and whispering Hebrew curses. It was dismantled, but its straw pile writhed for days. And so there's just some of that. Like there is actually a lot of unusual. I didn't really catch anything that was unusual on video. There's a lot of people trying to pretend.
There was a lot of that.
There
was a lot of that.
Yes.
Lockbeard, that's pretty funny. That made me laugh, actually. What the heck is a kilometer? So most of us in Canada.
Well, I will say to you, most of the world is on metric, but I will say, being a fellow Canadian, I learned imperial. So I do know metric, but not the way I know the imperial system. So I gotcha. Definitely gotcha. So Carrie saying, yep, I have been Monarch and MK programmed. Any questions I can offer something I do not have a problem talking about. Well, thank you very much for offering, Carrie. Maybe we'll have to talk in the future. Would love to maybe have you on. I'm booking into the end of February for next year already, but I think it's important to talk about these things. So thank you for sharing some of your, a little bit about your experiences in the chat. I know we both really appreciate it. So thank you. So hang on, let's check in with Instagram for a second here. So I was kind of disappointed, with all this legend and lore about scarecrows, that was the one thing. I really didn't find anything that looked real that had been caught on camera moving with a scarecrow or anything. Did you?
No, it was all choreographed.
Yeah, or AI, or like there's these guys that were on, their brothers Cyrus and Darius. I'd never heard of them, but they said, "Thank you so much for following us. We're almost up to 15 million." So I don't know if they're on Twitch or on TikTok or whatever. And they were in supposedly a haunted corn maze. And I struggled to watch it. You could just tell they were faking
At the
it.
one with the drone where they were in the car and they were.
Oh, that was another one. I saw that one about the drone trying to destroy. Yeah, it was just so fake.
Yeah.
It was really.
I mean, sometimes I'm in the right frame of mind and I'm like, let's just play all the silly ones so we can poke fun at it. But I didn't find anything that was interesting enough, I felt, for tonight.
The real zombie one that came up, I want to say Chicago. Please forgive me. Like I said, guys, I'm coming down with a cold, and cold medication, it dulls the senses. But it kept coming up about this woman. I want to say in Chicago, about 3 years ago, it went viral, and she was walking like what we've seen zombies walk like. She had one shoe on. Her head was very, very misshapen from what I could see. And she only had like a few strands of hair. She looked like she had the red fluid that runs in our bodies coming out of her mouth. And she was wandering around. I forget what phrase she was creating, but she's kind of just like what you would think a zombie would do. And police came up to talk to her. And she was begging them not to take her back to the hospital, they kept saying. And you never found out what it was, but just to see her on camera, like, it was creepy.
So would that be possession?
I don't know, like, because if I can find it, because I don't know if I downloaded it, was it possession or something else? Because like I said, she almost, you know what it reminded me of? I know you've probably seen this movie, The Elephant Man, back in the day.
I never saw it, actually.
Oh, it's actually a really good movie. It's very touching. But he suffered from elephantism, or it's called, I forget what kind of tumors, multiple tumors that grow in your body uncontrollably. It can still happen. It's a genetic anomaly. But the guy that played the Elephant Man, it was all done in black and white. And the makeup was actually really good for the time, because I think this came out in the mid to late 80s. But his head was very misshapen and heavy. He couldn't even lay down, or he would suffocate because his head was so heavy from the tumors. But his hair was all in like strands, just like what this woman looked like. That's what her head reminded me of from what I could see. Well, it makes you cry too. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Something biologically wrong, or like an illness.
I forget what it's called. I know the name. It's going to come up to me. Contessa, can you think of the name of it? Neurofibromatosis. I know I get it. Neurofibromatosis. And it's excessive neurofibromatosis. Tumors grow all over people's bodies. And that's what they figure happened to the Elephant Man. Like Contessa was saying, that movie always makes me cry. It makes me cry too. It's a beautiful story, actually. Mm-hmm. Are you talking about progeria? Or because I don't know. I don't think I've heard of Proteus syndrome. You have to tell us a little bit more about that, Lockbeard. Because progeria, which is basically premature aging, and these little people, they're very tiny children. They usually only live to about the age of 10, if you're lucky. And they too have very little hair, very specific features like the little pointed nose, and they're aging astronomically. So by 10, they're usually about in the age of a 100-year-old. Have you ever heard of it before, Kerrilynn? Progeria? Oh, and they've got these high-pitched little voices. They're very much like some kids get dementia if they live long enough, like the same thing you would see in an elderly person, and it's a genetic anomaly. It's very rare.
Who do you have coming on the show on Monday?
I have, because
on the Angel Rock,
because we were supposed to have Tom Dongo on, but instead we had to move that. So he's coming in February, He was our first guest, Kerrilynn and I ever had. It was last weekend. We had fun with him. He had fun with us, he said.
Yeah.
So I have Carmen Turner Schott coming on. She's been on numerous times, new book, and you guys love her when she comes on. Come with your birth dates, your times, and everything, because she's always happy to answer questions, and I can't wait to hear about her new book. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That sounds fun.
Who are you having on tomorrow night? On Spirit?
It's a secret.
It's a secret.
Mm-hmm. It's a secret. It's a secret surprise guest tomorrow. And we are talking about witchy haunts like Bell Witch Cave and Pendle Hill. We're talking about the things that would get you persecuted for being witch. So we're talking about witchy things tomorrow. My secret guest.
No, I'm going to have to tune in for sure, because I'll probably be hanging out with most of y'all that show up for Kerrilynn's show in the chat with you. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about having my guest on tomorrow.
Well, awesome. And you guys know who's coming up right after us. It's the amazing Michelle DeRoche with the second night of the Outer Realm. And she's also our station manager. And we adore the ground she walks on. So you guys stay tuned for her coming up next. It's going to be awesome.
Do you want me to close us out?
Mine, please. I didn't pull it out. Yes.
It was really great having all of you in our chat tonight, and all of your comments and questions, and building our community. We appreciate and love you all so very much.
Yes.
So thank you. We thank you. Sending out our thanks to Joe Montaldo, our network owner, and Michelle DeRoche, our network manager. We really would be lost without her. Yes, Daryl Denton, Dogman Stories.
Coming up next.
Coming up next with Michelle DeRoche on the Outer Realm. So please stick around.
Thanks, Heidi.
Yes. So you have been listening to Beneath the Hollow Moon with Kerrilynn Shellhorn and Lorilei Potvin, and you've been listening to us live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 in the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. So until next week, step back into the shadows, and whatever you do, don't
follow the whispers.
Yeah.
We love you guys. Tune in tomorrow night for Kerrilynn and Monday for the Angel Rock. We'll see you. Hopefully, we'll let you know, because we told them in the middle. Kerrilynn's going to be traveling to Thunder Bay for the Lake Superior Paracon. So we don't know yet, but we are going to do our very best to be live. If we're not, we will put on an awesome replay for you guys, right?
Yep.
Now somebody's put these guys are going to have to talk to them. Good thing I caught that. We almost played the wrong intro out or outro. Anyways, see